welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa and today I'm going to help you loosen up those hips and stretch out those legs. We're actually going to get started in child's pose. So if you have a mat or not, it doesn't really matter. But we're going to sit back towards our heels, big toes touching, but I actually invite you to widen your knees. Maybe bringing them out as wide as a mat if you have a mat, or just a little bit wider than hips distance. From there, we'll start to walk forward, lowering our chest down towards the floor, maybe bringing your forehead to rest on the mat, or if it doesn't quite get there, we can stack our hands on top of one another, resting it there, or even making fists and then resting it on top of your top fist, just bringing the ground a little closer to you. So find which version of those works for you, and we'll just take a few moments here, just letting our mind wind down to adjust to this slower pace. Maybe starting to elongate those inhales and exhales, making them a little longer than they'd normally be throughout your day. If you'd like, you can start to rock from side to side, just giving your forehead a little bit of a massage. Starting to juice out those hips very gently. Taking a deep breath in right here. And a long breath out. And on your next inhale, we'll come up onto our knees and our palms. Let's bring our knees nice and close together. So where your palms are now is probably a little bit further than you're normally used to when you're in tabletop. But let's bring them out a little bit further still. And then we're going to shift our shoulders over our wrists and drop your hips down towards the floor. You're kind of in this cobra position. So let's inhale here, pressing the ground away. Deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to drop our hips over to the right and then sit back towards child's pose. As you inhale, we'll drop our hips over to the left, coming forward, and then back through center in that cobra pose. Exhaling as you go to the right and back towards child's. Inhaling as you come up and to the left, and then center. Exhaling to the right, just moving with your own breath, making really big circles with your hips. Inhaling as you come forward and to the left. We'll take 2 more rounds. Just moving nice and slow. And I'll meet you back in center, hips dropping towards the floor. Exhaling here. And we'll take a deep breath in. We'll go the opposite way, so our hips will drop over to the left. And then back towards child's pose. Inhaling as they drop to the right and center. Continuing with your breath, just moving as slow as your inhales and exhales. Try to be as fluid as your breath. And we'll take 2 more rounds in this direction. And then I'll meet you back at center, hips drop towards the floor. If you need to adjust at all to make sure that your shoulders are still over your wrists, you can do so now. You may have moved a little bit in all those circles. Then we'll tuck our toes and lift our knees up off the floor, coming into plank position. So you may need to lift your hips up a little bit too. Take a deep breath in right here. And a long breath out. We're going to inhale, bringing our left knee in towards our chest, stepping our left foot to the top of the mat. And then we'll drop our right knee and untuck our right toes. So just go ahead and make sure that your left ankle is underneath that left knee. When it is, we'll just sway from side to side a little bit, opening up the front of the right hip. If you don't really feel that opening, make sure that your right knee is back far enough that you're at a diagonal, notice, rather than a 90-degree angle with your right leg. Deep breath here. From here, we're going to shift our weight onto that right knee, maybe walking the hands back a step or two, straightening that left leg, and flexing the left toes towards the face. I like to stay up on my fingertips, or if you have blocks, this is a great place for blocks to bring the ground a little closer to you. Reaching forward with the heart before I hinge at my hips. So rather than rounding my spine and getting my forehead to my knee, I want to reach my heart forward. You can tilt your tailbone up towards the sky. That should help light up the back of the left leg. Deep breathing here. Nice, big inhale. As you exhale, we'll bend that front knee, flattening the left foot. We're going to bring our right palm to the inside of the left foot. And then we'll inhale, turning our heart over to the left, bringing our left hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, dropping the left hand to reach towards the back of the mat. And then you can kick your right foot towards your booty and grab a hold of it with your hand. Sinking the right hip bone a little closer to the floor in this very deep quad stretch. If your foot doesn't quite reach your hand, you can use a strap to hook around it and bring it a little closer to you. Or even just grab a hold of your pant leg. Breathing deeply here, spiraling the heart over to the left. Maybe gazing back over that back shoulder. Deep breath in. Long breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, release that foot. And we'll inhale the left arm back up towards the sky. Exhale, we'll plant the left palm to frame the foot. Let's tuck those right toes and lift the right knee up off the ground. And we'll send that left foot back to meet the right. Deep breath in right here. Long breath out. Let's inhale the right knee up towards the chest and step it forward to plant it in between the palms. We'll drop the left knee and untuck the left toes. Same alignment cues here, so make sure the right knee is underneath or above the right ankle. And that the left knee is far enough back so you start to feel that opening in the front of the left hip. Then shine your heart forward and maybe sway gently from side to side. Breathing deeply. Nice big inhale. Long exhale. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, shift your weight onto the left knee, straightening the right leg and flexing the right toes towards the face. Tilt the tailbone up towards the sky to help light up the outside or the back side of the right leg. Reach forward with the heart and then hinge at the hips. Deep breathing here. Nice big inhale. Long exhale. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, we'll bend the right knee, flattening the right foot. Place the left hand on the inside of the right foot And as you inhale, we'll turn our right hand, or reach our right palm up towards the sky, turning our heart over to the right. Exhale, drop the right hand to the back of the mat. And then we'll kick our left heel up. And maybe grab it with your right hand or use a strap or grab the pant leg. And we'll sink the left hip bone a little closer to the floor. Gazing back over the back shoulder. Spiraling your heart over to the right. Breathing deeply into this quad stretch. Nice big inhale. Long exhale. One more deep breath here. Exhale, release the foot from the hand, reach the right arm high. Exhale, place it down next, bring to the foot. We'll tuck the left toes and lift the left knee up off the ground. From here, we're gonna roll back and forth on the ball of the left foot so we get a little bit of momentum so that we can step or bring the left knee to the back side of the right ankle. And just place it down on the ground right there. And we'll go ahead and sit back on the left hip. From here, I'm going to leave my right foot flat on the ground, but pull it in close so that it's on the outside of my left thigh. And we'll place our right palm on the ground next to our tailbone, so right behind our spine. And then you can either wrap your forearm around your right leg, pulling it in nice and close, or if you'd like, you can hook the outside of the left elbow on the outside of the right knee. And we'll slowly start to turn our chest over to the left, or to the right, I'm sorry. Gazing back over the back shoulder. Spine is nice and tall, crown of the head is reaching up towards the sky. And we're still breathing deeply, even in this twist. Nice big inhale. Long exhale. One more deep breath in. Exhale, we'll slowly unwind back to center. From here, we're going to stack both of our knees on top of one another. So our feet are out to either side, and we're going to have them nice and flexed. You may need to adjust your hips so that both sit bones are reaching down into the ground. And you can stay here. This is shoelace pose, and it can be uncomfortable. So you can just stay here, maybe close your eyes, sitting up nice and tall, breathing into it. Or if you want a teeny bit more, we'll start to slowly walk our hands forward, bringing our belly down towards our thigh. Just finding your edge. And when you do, just breathing there. We'll be here for a few breaths, so focusing on those long inhales and long exhales. Three more breaths right here. You've got this. One more deep breath in. Long breath out. And you can slowly use your hands to walk yourself up if you came forward. And we're going to bring your left foot a little bit forward so that your left shin is parallel with the sides of your mat or the top of the mat, whichever way you're facing. And then we're going to stack our right ankle on top of our right knee. So both of our feet are still flexed, and this gap right here can vary drastically depending on how tight your hips may be. So if this is already quite uncomfortable, we'll just stay here, nice and tall again. You could even stuff a pillow or a rolled up blanket or a block in between this gap to just kind of alleviate all of that pressure. But if you need a little bit more, maybe your hips are already nice and loose, then you can start to fall forward just like we did before. And we'll just breathe deeply here. Again, focusing on those long inhales and exhales. So important to use that focus as a tool, especially in these more intense and uncomfortable poses that we hold for a few breaths. Maybe following that inhale from the moment it touches the tip of your nose to the moment it leaves. Maybe you prefer to imagine that you're sending your breath to your right hip, helping it loosen up a little bit more just by sending your oxygen there. Nice big inhale. Long exhale. 2 more just like that. And then if you walked forward, we'll bring our hands back, pressing ourselves up. And then we're going to kick our right foot out, so that's straight out by our sides, and bring the bottom of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. You can flex those right toes, and we're going to walk our hands forward again over this bent leg, over this your left shin. So walking forward, making sure that both sit bones stay firmly planted on the ground. Your right sit bone may want to come up a bit so that you get closer to the ground, but do your best to press it into the ground. You may not be able to come down as far, but that's okay. This isn't about who can get down the farthest. This is a solo practice. This is about getting as much as you can out of your practice. Breathing deeply here. The inside of the right leg. Two more breaths. Deep breath in. Long breath out. You can use your palms to slowly walk yourself up. And we're going to kick the right heel towards our booty so it comes onto the outside of us. So we're in this sort of zigzag deer leg pose position. From here, we'll plant our palms, our left palm on the outside of the left hip and reach that right arm high. We're going to press into the ground through our left hand, coming up onto our knees and shifting your hips forward a lot. Dropping the right hand back behind you, and maybe letting your head hang heavy too. Breathing deeply into the front of the right hip and into the upper half of your body. Deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly sit back down. You can place your right hand next to the left, and we can slowly walk them out. Bringing our torso down towards the floor, coming into this nice twist. Maybe your forehead reaches the mat, maybe not. Try to keep your shoulders nice and level, dropping the right shoulder a little closer to the ground. Nice big breath here. Long breath out. We'll use our palms to walk ourselves back up. And we'll place our right hand on the opposite side, so next to our right hip. Our feet will come flat to the ground as we bring our knees up towards the ceiling. And then we'll drop them down towards the right. So you are on the other side. So now the outside of your right knee is on the ground. And then we'll bring our left hand over to meet the right. Need to adjust, they don't have a ton of room. So you may need to do the same. Then we'll start to walk those hands out again, coming into that twist on the other side. Maybe bringing your forehead down to the mat or your palms. Maybe you're up right here. Wherever you are, we'll drop the left shoulder a little closer to the ground so that our shoulders stay nice and level. And we're breathing deeply. Nice big breath in. Long breath out. And we're going to use our palms to help us walk back up. Our right palm will be on the outside of our right hip, and we'll lift our left arm high. Press into the ground through the right hand, coming up onto the knees, shifting the hips forward, reaching up and back with the left hand. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly sit back down. We'll bring our left leg out nice and straight to the outside. And then we'll bring the bottom of our right foot to the inside of our left thigh. Then you can start to slowly walk forward again. You may notice quite a difference on either side for yourself. You may be more or less flexible on this side. I am extremely less flexible on this side, mostly due to an old injury. So maybe you're dealing with something similar. Just try and reach that left sit bone down towards the ground. Mine really wants to come up. So I gotta put a lot of effort to press it down, which means I won't go down as far, but that's okay. Deep inhale here. Long exhale. 2 more. Use your next inhale to press yourself back up. And then we'll bring our right ankle a little bit forward so that's parallel with the edge of our mat. And then we'll pick up our left ankle and stack it on top of our right knee, coming back into that stacked pose, fire log pose, or double pigeon, it's sometimes referred to as well. Both feet are nice and flexed. Again, staying here, maybe shoving some pillows in that gap. Or if you'd like a little more, you're a little bit looser in the hips, you can start to walk forward. Breathing here. Again, just being kind to yourself, especially if you notice the difference in flexibility on either side. Don't expect yourself to be completely even. And just honoring where you are today. Maybe you feel a little looser than yesterday or a little more tight. Either way, that's okay. 3 more breaths here. You've got this. I know it can be intense. Just focus on those inhales and exhales. One more deep breath in. Long breath out. We use our hands to help us sit back up. And we'll come back into that shoelace pose. So we're going to stack our knees on top of one another this time. Flexing both feet still. Maybe adjusting so that you're sitting on both hips nice and square. You can stay here sitting tall, or you can walk forward again. Coming down a little lower, dropping the belly down towards the thigh. Both of these twists, or both of these hip openers, these shoelace pose and firelog pose can be very, very intense. So if you're having trouble wanting to stay into it, know that that's normal. Know that these are intense poses. But focusing on that breath will help you just get through it. Get through it a little bit easier. Two more breaths here. One more inhale. Long exhale. We'll inhale slowly, sitting ourselves back up. We're going to flatten our left foot down on the floor on the outside of the right hip, or right thigh, and scoop that right heel in nice and close. You're going to place your left palm right by your tailbone back behind you, and either wrap your right forearm around your left knee and twist, or you can hook the outside of the right elbow on the outside of the left knee and twist. Turning your heart over to the left and gazing back over the left shoulder. Breathing still. Every inhale may be growing a little taller. Every exhale may be twisting a little bit deeper. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, slowly unwind back to center. And we'll kick our right foot out, followed by the left. And place our palms down by our sides, leaning back, and we'll tap our toes together. Maybe bounce the knees up and down on the ground. Wonderful. So your legs are outstretched in front of you, sitting up nice and tall, both sit bones firmly wiggled into the ground. We'll flex the feet towards the face, and we'll inhale both arms out and up. As you exhale, we'll lead forward with the heart as we hinge at the hips, falling forward over the legs. Maybe grabbing a hold of the bottoms of your feet or your ankles, your shins, wherever it may be. Breathing here. And if you'd like, you can let your head hang heavy. Three more breaths. One more deep breath in. Long breath out. And we'll slowly sit back up. And we'll bring the bottoms of our feet together and then scoot those heels in as close as they can be comfortably and towards the body. The closer they are, the more intense of a stretch. The further away, a little bit less. And we'll inhale, sitting up tall. As you exhale, hinge at the hips again, leading with the heart, falling forward towards the feet. Maybe you can use your elbows to encourage the knees a little closer to the ground. Breathing now into the inside of the legs, the thighs. This is one where I prefer to keep leading with my heart rather than rounding my spine. I feel like I get a little bit better of a stretch that way, just for me. So you may want to play around and try both and see which one you prefer. Two more inhales and two more exhales. We'll inhale slowly, sitting back up. We'll bring our palms to the outsides of our knees and slowly close them like a book. You need to scoot forward so you have some room back behind you, and we'll reach our arms towards the top of the mat. Now as you exhale, we'll slowly roll back one vertebrae at a time. We'll scoot those the feet in a little bit closer to the booty. But then we're gonna bring them out about as wide as your mat. Again, if you're not on a mat, that's just a little bit wider than hips distance. You can bring your arms out to a T, or if you're short on space like me, you can bring them out in a goalpost position. And then we'll start to slowly drop both of our knees over to the right. And then pick them back up towards the ceiling, drop them over to the left. Picking them up and over to the right. And over to the left, just windshield wiping the legs here. And the next time they're over to the left, you can stay here gazing back over the right shoulder. If you'd like, you can stack the left ankle on top of the right knee, weighing the right knee down a little bit more, gazing over the right. Breathing here in this twist. One more inhale. Exhale, you can release the left ankle back down towards the floor. We'll inhale the knees up towards the sky and drop them going over to the right, gazing over the left shoulder, maybe picking up the right ankle and stacking it on top of the left knee. Breathing here in this twist. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release the right ankle down towards the floor. We'll turn our gaze all the way over to the right. We'll stack both of our knees on top of one another, stacking our shoulders too, coming into the fetal position. Deep breath right here. And you can use your top hand, probably your left hand, to press into the ground, bringing yourselves up to seated. Coming into a nice, easy seated pose. Maybe that's crisscross for you. Maybe it's sitting up back on your heels. Sitting up nice and tall. And just take a moment to notice how your body feels now, after you've put in just a little bit of time for yourself. Giving yourself a little bit of love. We'll inhale our arms out and up towards the ceiling, palms to touch at the top. Exhale, hands down to heart center. We'll bow our heads to seal our practice. I thank you so much for allowing me to guide us today and practicing with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Namaste. Thank you guys. I'll see you next week. Let me know if you have any requests or if you have a favorite pose in this sequence. All right, guys, see you later.